Welcome to Up on the Bars discussion with your host, Roy Bain.
Well, welcome to Tuesday night on the show here. Tonight we are joined by Steve Elliott. Steve is the grandson of Bob Mccoy, who we're going to celebrate this weekend with the Tri-State Pro Stocks at Petaluma Speedway. Welcome to the show, Steve.
How's it going, Roy? Thanks for having me.
So, number one, I read your little post the other day. I would like for you to tell us a little bit about your granddad, Bob, because I didn't have the pleasure of meeting him. So I'd like to hear a little bit about him from you and what this race means to you.
All right. This race is pretty important to me. He was a huge part of my life, a huge part of the racetrack. His son was, as a lot of people know, Sean McCoy, who races down there weekly in the Super Stocks. So I grew up going down there with my grandpa. I was down there really since the day I was born, just about every weekend. So
Okay.
the racetrack's been a big part of my life as well. And yeah, my grandpa would be down there every week to watch Sean race and push sprint cars, and dedicated a lot of his time to the speedway just about every week.
Right, and that's everybody had told me that your granddad did a lot of the push truck stuff, and I'm not. Like I said, I didn't get to meet him, but I know with the sprint cars when they run, you got to have a ton of push trucks there to get them off, especially when you got 50 or 60 of them over there. Saying sound is bad for both. I don't know who posted that up on there, but I can hear you crystal clear, so I don't know what's going on here.
Huh.
So let's see if we can change something here. They said I sound better, so I don't know. Maybe it's just the volume's turned up too high. But no. So how did your granddad get started with going to the track? I mean, that's kind of a unique story. I mean, somebody doesn't just show up and start driving a push truck.
Yeah, I'm not sure how he got into the push truck, but he was down there watching Sean. Sean was racing in high school, so my grandpa was down there then watching, and yeah, I'm not exactly sure how he got into the push trucks, but once he did, he was down there every week.
So, well, and Sean has a pretty much, I think, an unbreakable record over there. How many continuous starts did he have before he had his motorcycle accident? Something like 800, right?
Yeah, something like that. I'm not exactly sure what the actual number is, but it was up there.
Yeah, I know everybody was talking about it because it took everybody by off guard that he didn't make the one race last year, and I'm sure we can talk about it now. He had a motorcycle accident that prevented him from making that race, but everybody's like, what happened to him? Where's he at? He's never missed a race. And I remember everybody was asking, it's like, man, I don't know what happened. So, and then it slowly came out. So
yeah, I was out of town. I was out of town that week, and I was getting text messages asking where he was. I had no idea.
Yeah. So I take it your family's been involved in racing one way or another for quite some time.
Yeah, I ran a mini stocks for about 4 years down there. So I was a part of it then, and now I take photos down there. I've been doing that for probably close to 20 years.
Wow. I didn't know that. I knew you had the photos, and you're obviously a avid race fan. You can see all the cars. If y'all can't see this background, I don't know how many die casts up there. It looks like at least 100 right there behind you in the corner.
Yeah, you can only see a couple, probably about 300, but I have about 900 on the wall.
Okay. So I wanted Steve to come on here and talk about it because every year he started, and we haven't met and talked in person. This is our first time sitting down and talking. But on this race, you do tons and tons of work behind the scenes, getting the race ready. Can you let everybody that's there know what you've been up to for about the last 2 months getting this ready to go, and then talk about that big piece of hardware behind you?
Really just looking for sponsors and trying to figure out what kind of awards we're going to do. I do a lot of creating trophies myself. The one behind me, I didn't make that one, but I do a lot of the wooden engraving awards and things like that. Which I'll have some this weekend down there. But I think we're doing Fast Dash and Quick Time Award. So.
All right. All right. So I'm probably going to throw you off. I'm going to edit your mic settings again because Mike said you're kind of echoing and chirpy. So I'm going to put that echo cancellation back on. So if it throws you off, I apologize ahead of time.
You want me to turn it on?
Yeah. See if that helped you out just a little bit.
Yeah, it's on. It's on right now.
Okay, we'll see. Jay Learn, what's up, Roy? I'll be there this weekend as well as Randy Miramontes. We were talking, it sounds like Jerry Stewart may be coming up to Jay, possibly Justin Crockett. I know Brent Lawrence is coming. I think Bill Hall's car will be there with Brace driving. That's who I've heard so far. Plus, y'all have got a handful of locals. I think Mike Learn will be racing this weekend. Mike, you can say yes or no in the comments. So it looks like we already got a pretty solid field building up there for this weekend, and I don't know your local drivers that well over there.
Yeah, well, of course, Sean McCoy, he'll be there, and probably Matt Weil. I'm not sure how many of the local guys will run it. Sometimes they don't run when the series comes to town, but other than just a couple of them.
Yeah. So Mike says, yes, sir, he'll be racing. So Matt Weil, if y'all ever got to see the movie on Netflix, Lady Racer, he's the one that's driving the blue 3-number Fender stock car in there. I just did that, yeah.
Yep.
So that was kind of cool. I thought that was really cool about that movie over there on Petaluma. I didn't expect that, and I had never been there, so I watched that movie, and I was expecting a whole lot different view when you got to the racetrack. It didn't look the same. They did some really good work with the camera work over there. It was very cool. So
yeah, they did. It was pretty well done.
Did you get to go over there and attend and take some photos while that was going on?
No, I did not.
Man, that's a bummer right there. That would have been something cool. I know Rick said he still gets a residual check from it for playing the security guard in the movie. So.
Oh yeah, he did. He was a security guard. Yeah.
Yeah, you just call him Rocco, right? When you see Rick this weekend, just call him Rocco. He likes that. So, so I know you have a list of sponsors. Is there any of them that you want to talk about specifically, or any of the ones that you talk to? Because I mean, I know you sent me a whole list. We're trying to get them posted up, but I'm not that creative with creating posts, so I can't fit them all in there.
Yeah, I'll get them posted up after we're done here. Yeah, just a lot of local sponsors came on. The rental place in Roanoke Park. Machado Burgers out of Santa Rosa. Of course, Jay's Mobile Welding. He helps out a lot with the series all year long.
Yes.
As well as Workman Communications. Yeah, I got a couple new ones this year. The one that's on there is called Crooked Hooker Co. It's a fishing lifestyle apparel brand out of Santa Rosa. So they came on board. Tire Source, local tire shop in Petaluma. So yeah, I mean, there's been quite a few that have supported this race for several years, and a couple new ones this year, which is always good to see.
Yeah, if you haven't been on the sponsorship side of things, that has been the hardest thing for me to learn, is getting out there and finding the people to do that. And of course, with us, Jay does a lot with the Tri-State, does a lot with the Speed Union that we're doing. Workman, he's the one that provides the internet, so I can pull over and do the show from right here in my truck on the side of it, basically. So, and then you got VIP Medical and Lyle Hopper with Winning Attitude. All those come on board to help this series grow. I mean, sponsorship is what makes this go around. So we want to make sure we give everybody that moment out there. That's why I wanted to make sure we talked about those. And I know Matt Hageman's done some stuff in the past. Fred.
Yeah, so, they've both sponsored this race in the past few years. Yeah.
So everybody, if you hear sponsors on here and you hear us talking about sponsors and you need something that they do, reach out to them. Always reach out to the sponsors that help us first and foremost. they may not be able to help you, but they might tell you one of their friends that they do business with, and it makes them a whole lot more willing to go. The partnership, not sponsorship, per ed. Yes, whoever said that, it's a partnership with all of our marketing people. It's not sponsorship. So yes, we talk about that all the time. I think that was Mike that said that. So and Ed knows best. Yeah. Ed just sent me his resume today, and it was like, that's 4 pages of stuff that it's like, man, I don't even know what to say when you start reading what he's done. It's the guy that's on here that he ran McDonald's for about 7 years as CEO. It was awesome. So yeah, what are you wanting to do with this weekend for the race, and what do you want to tell everybody that's listening tonight about this race for this weekend and things like that? I mean, I know it's celebrating somebody that did something and influenced the sport, and I know that you have a personal relationship with your granddad. So tell us what you want everybody to take home out of this weekend.
I just want everybody to come out and have a good time. I mean, that's what he was all about, having a good time. I mean, he was just a really easygoing guy. Never really got mad. Was friends with just about everybody. So I just want everybody to come out, enjoy the races, and just have a good time like he would be.
Yeah. That was Brent Cool. His daughter races, Lacey Cool. She's been on there, but that's something that, and we talk about that a lot on this podcast, and the people that's here and with the Pro Stocks. Everybody that participates in the Pro Stock series, it's a very much a family environment. I don't know if you've noticed that in the pits when we're racing. Everybody hangs out. Yeah. If your car breaks, everybody's there doing what they can to help you get it fixed. And I that's what I like about the Pro Stock class more than the rest of them, is that atmosphere. And to hear you say that about your granddad's cool. And you said he was a chicken farmer.
Yeah, he was. Yep. He had a chicken ranch in Petaluma for, I don't even know how many years. It was a long time.
So I have to ask you, it's funny, but it's not. Did you have any of those? That one chicken that when you went out there was always an ass? We had chicken growing up, and we had one that every time you went out there was just an ass.
Yeah, there was always some of those. They raised them on a large scale, so they had hundreds of thousands of them at a time, and they raised them for Petaluma Poultry. They were all meat chickens, so they would only be there for 6 or 8 weeks, and then they'd be gone. And then a new batch would come in. But yeah, there was ones that were a real pain.
Yeah, that we just had that one. You go in the chicken house to get the eggs or whatever. It just square up and attack you. It didn't matter. You got to squat them away. Rick Workman said yes, and we're going to agree with this. Rick Workman says Steve wants to see a B-Main 25 plus cars. Yes.
Oh yeah, I would love a B-Main. That's how it used to be when I was a kid.
Well, that is a whole subject of what we're trying to do with talking about this, bringing people on you to talk about what you're doing, things like that. Get back to the glory days of it, and it's growing. I don't know if you've been watching a lot, but it seems to be up on the upswing. They had, and I don't like to talk about it, but Boone, they had nearly 1,000 cars at Boone this year.
That was crazy. Yeah.
I would like to go see it, but I'm too old, man. That getting done at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning, I couldn't do a week of that. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
But yes, I wanted to talk a little bit about the payout. We posted up the payout from 1 through 19. First place is taking $1,200. Do you mind showing off the trophy a little bit that you got made for this weekend?
Oh, not at all.
So
can you see back there?
Yeah. So this here is what he's put together. Somebody's taking home a nice, bright, shiny silver trophy for the weekend. He was working on that right before we come online. He said, I'm working on getting all the award stuff done right before we got together to talk about it. And Rick Workman of Workman's Communication, once again, if we get 20 plus cars, the last place in the main event's taking home $250. So everything on the back end of that, he's raising it up to $250 to start. So encourage everybody to go. You show up, you make the main event, you get $250. I hate to say it, but that's what a lot of these places are racing for a main event win on a weekend. So we just have to address that. I mean, it's a lot of fun, and it's going to take everybody to get out there and support him, make that happen. So out of all the names that we just talked about, a little bit of being there, who are you pulling for to win? I want to get your prediction right here.
No, that's tough. Richard Brace is always seems to be one of the guys to beat. I know Matt Wiles had this race on his list for a while, so it could be him as well. Mike Lawrence won it before, so there's probably 5 or 6 cars that will probably be up front at some point. So,
well, I'm going to make my prediction right here because I've seen him show up twice and walk away with main event wins this year. I'm going with a dark horse in this with Brent Lawrence. So, Brent.
Oh, yeah.
Bring the gusto this weekend, Brent. I'm counting on you. Hey, Jay, I'd like to see you win one as well. Absolutely. Love to see everybody win one. Somebody's got to break Justin Crockett's streak of, I think he's up to 10 in a row that he's won when we got together. So, Brent, you got my vote this weekend. Steve, I don't know who you're going out there with, but I'm pulling for Brent this weekend.
One thing I like about this race is this will be the 6th year, and we haven't had a repeat winner yet.
Now, see, there you go. There's testament to that right there. I haven't talked to Phil Marino, but he likes running over at Petaluma.
Yeah.
He's there. He's always fast. Now, when you were talking about Petaluma, we want to bring some attention to Petaluma Speedway. Everybody knows that they've had a little bit of issues with real estate development wanting to take over the track, and there's a fighting on it. Guys, this is a chance for you to send a statement to you to show up in numbers and say, hey, don't do away with our track. So if nothing else, at least support the track with that portion of it. But Petaluma is a unique track. And I'm going to tell you this because we talked a little bit right before we went live. The first time I went there, it was hot during the day. And I mean, it was hot. I was in a sweatshirt freezing my butt off by the time we got done that night. And Mitch Machado's crew member, Johnson, let me borrow his sweatshirt because I went down there expected to be hot and didn't even have a sweatshirt. And man, I tell you what, I was cold in the pits over there. But what makes that track unique is they have a really, I want to say, a different style clay on it. But then the tide comes in there in the middle of the night and kind of comes down in underneath the dirt, and it actually changes the surface from the start of the night to the end of the night. It seems like it gets heavier and more hooked up as the night goes, where it's just the opposite of a normal track that dries off. It seems to get wetter as the night goes. Is that what you've noticed down there for yourself?
Oh, yeah. If the tide comes in, like 7, 8 o'clock, when it's high tide, the track's going to be a lot wetter, a lot really heavy. And yeah, some people like that, some people don't. But it's the character that Petaluma has compared to everywhere else.
Jay says as soon as the fog rolls in,
that too.
I will agree with that. And there's another track that we go to in Oregon that's the same way. It's right on the coast, about 6 miles, just like yours, about 6 miles from the water. It seems like 8:30 or 9, kind of some moisture sets in. It's not necessarily fog, but there's moisture in there enough that you have to take your tear off because it gets wet. You got to turn the windshield wipers on. And man, that track never has an ounce of dust. Doesn't matter what you got in your motor, it'll take every inch of it. And that's kind of the same thing about Petaluma. That moisture that sits in there. And you don't have to be hot and miserable at the end of the night. That's the great part.
Right.
I think the cars run a lot better the cooler it gets. They stay cooler. Everybody can really get after it at that track. So it's an awesome facility for everybody to attend. If you get a chance to go this weekend, you definitely want to be at Petaluma Speedway Saturday night for the Tri-State Pro Stocks, and I think the SCCT sprint cars are there as well, if I'm not mistaken. We will not be broadcasting it because we don't have streaming rights at Petaluma Speedway, but it is available on Flow. I'm sure everybody will tell you that they'll be doing live videos from there. So, Steve, it's awesome to give up some time to talk about this tonight. I want to make sure you get to say what you're doing with this race and all that stuff. And it's awesome to see this continue on for, like you said, the 6th year. the Billy Geyer, I think, was our 6th or 7th year up in Wairika this year. Those are 2 of the longer running races for the pro stocks I've seen out here. And it's awesome that we get to do this every year. And I just want to make sure we give the support to this track as much as we can. Because like I said, Rick needs help, and we're celebrating this man's granddad. So everybody's reach out to Steve, tell him what a great job he's doing, because he's been buried up for 2 to 3 weeks on gathering up sponsorship for all of this stuff. Make sure you say thank you to all the sponsors that have helped do it too, because let them know. Steve said he's going to post up a list of all the sponsors.
Yeah.
Actually, all the marketing partners. Let's get back into the mindset of this the correct way. Guys, if nothing else, find these places online and just send them a note telling you thank you for supporting it. That way they know their name got remembered when they got done at the racetrack. This is a group effort for all of us, and let's make sure we do it. So, Steve, what do you got? Anything planned in the pits after the race Saturday night?
Nothing afterwards. I'll be down there early. Probably right when the pit gates open. I'll have T-shirts for sale right by the pit gate. And I'll probably be at the pit gate till about 3:30 or so with T-shirts, and then I'll go inside. I'll be in the infield doing photos. So,
what is the name of your business too? If people want to reach out to you and get shirts ahead of time,
it's Elliott Digital Design. And
Elliott Digital Design.
Yeah, and I'm on Facebook or Instagram, all of those.
Elliott Digital Design. Can they get photos from this weekend too as well?
Yeah, they'll be posted probably a day or two after the race is over.
Yep. So we work with a young lady that does photos. I have to ask you, is that the hardest thing you do after you get done is getting all those photos together to get them to release? I feel bad for her because she'll go to Stockton, then she's in the motel till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
Everything up. So
yeah.
I don't know what all she does, but I know she doesn't get much sleep after a race down there because she tries to hurry up and get them out there for everybody. And I'm sure you have to do the same thing, right?
Yeah, it takes a lot. I'm actually a little behind this year. I just had other work going on. But, yeah, anybody that's looking for photos from previous races, if they haven't been posted, I probably have them.
So I have to ask this, and I didn't have insider information until recently. How many photos do you have at the end of the night when you go to the racetrack? I know what her number is, and I'm sure you probably have double what she does.
It depends. Some nights I'll take maybe 500 or 600, but there used to be nights when I first started where there'd be like 12, 13, 1400.
Okay.
It's just too many to go through at that point.
Well, she takes like 3,500 of them, and she has to go through all of them and sort out. And she sends me stuff to use sometimes for photos and stuff. I have zero patience to sit and look at that many pictures. And then we started editing videos this year, and that's the hardest thing. And you people that do that have my entire respect for that, because that is the hardest thing to understand and grasp. I hate to say it, but it is. It sucks. But one thing that she does that I always think's neat, and she takes photos of the drivers in the staging lane. That's is a little bit different. She gets some really cool shots in there. And I know each photographer has their own little thing that they do that's different than everybody else. And I've started noticing that more this year than I have in the past. So, but do you do photo shoots for other drivers? Like if they wanted to pay you to come in the pits and do some special photos for them in the pits, can they get you to do that as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I can do that. I have a little print shop, so I do like the hero cards that drivers hand out to the kids, and I can print posters. I can print all sizes. So,
well, that Ed that we talked, he's been telling everybody to get this stuff together to help develop marketing partners and things like that. Guys, all the stuff Ed was telling us last week to do, apparently he can handle all that for you. There's your contact to get it done right there.
Yep.
So there's a Frank. I'm not even going to try to pronounce your last name. I'm sorry. since I'm from Arizona and I've raced Petaluma in the past, it's definitely one of my favorite tracks. That was back in the early 2000s. So I would butcher his last name if I tried it. So I'll just put it up there so you can read it. Not even trying. So, yeah, I like Petaluma. I like everything about it. Rick's a great promoter. Has supported the Tri-State Pro Stocks for quite some time. So it's definitely time for us to start helping him out and get back to him. So everybody stop by and tell Rick hi this weekend, too, and tell him thanks for having us. So that sounds like a good night. And if you need anything, I put up Elliott Digital Designs. You can reach out to him to get any stuff done for him. Let's support him. He's helped support us. So thank you, Steve, for your time. Is there anything you want to add to it before we end out of here tonight?
No, I don't think so. I just look forward to seeing everybody on Saturday. Yeah, if you see me at the T-shirt table by the pit gate, come say hi.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to this race. It's a unique format. You guys don't qualify everywhere you go, do you?
No, we have some. We've had a couple of times this year. We did at Medford this year, and it was just to make sure that they had some low car counts in the other classes. So we did it to do that.
Definitely. They are going to qualify from what I've been told them, but that's what Mike told me in a trophy dash or a fast dash. So I like the old school format of this race.
And I like the old school formats too, and I try to keep up without the modified classes with the draw, redraw, pass, and points, all that other stuff. I cannot figure out how they're doing that. Don't even want to know. It's like, oh my gosh, I can't even keep up with it. So, says Jay Learn says we've been qualifying at Petaluma for the Tri-States. Yeah, it's kind of cool. I like the qualifying stuff too. When I drive, I suck at it because I suck driving to begin with. So I can't ever judge if you're doing really well or not. So I always qualify really crappy. So I just feels like you're going fast, and then you find out you ain't doing nothing. So there you go. But anyway, all right. Well, thank you, Steve, and thanks for all your help for this race. And make sure we get out and support this race this weekend at Petaluma Speedway. You can check out all the action if you cannot make it in person. We always encourage showing up to the racetrack. It's better in person. But if you can't, it's available to you on Flow Racing. All right. Thanks, Steve. And hang tight here. We'll end it.
All right. Thank you, guys.